Hello everyone, this is Vishal Pandey, your history teacher, and I welcome you all in my YouTube class. We have already started nationalism in India, and in that, we have discussed what is the ideology of Satyagraha. We have discussed what was Rowlatt Act, and now the result of Rowlatt Act, the outcome of Rowlatt Act, which is very peculiar as far as this chapter is concerned, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre or the Jallianwala Bagh incident, how it had happened, what was the impact of Jallianwala Bagh at non-cooperation movement, which will come later in this chapter. We are going to discuss each and everything individually in a detailed way. So hold your breath because this chapter is going to be very much interesting, and I hope each and every student must understand this chapter because it is associated with your country's history. So without wasting any time, let's begin. So children, as you can see on your screen, that Jallianwala Bagh, this incident had happened on 13th of April. The infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident took place. So 13th April in the year 1919. This you have to correlate the year 1919. On that day, a large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. What is enclosed ground? It was surrounded by heavy and large walls. So Jallianwala Bagh was not an open ground, but it was an enclosed ground. Some came to protest against the government's new repressive measures. Others had come to attend the annual Baisakhi fair. As I told you yesterday that the Punjabis used to celebrate Baisakhi fair, that is a Baisakhi festival type, they used to celebrate. For that purpose also they gathered in Jallianwala Bagh, as well as some of them gathered for the discussion about Rowlatt Act. Being from outside the city, many villagers were unaware of the martial law that had been imposed. What was the martial law which was imposed? That was, yes, exactly, that was Rowlatt Act. Dyer, the general, entered the area, blocked the exit points and opened the fire on the crowd, killing hundreds. His object, as he declared later, was to produce a moral effect, to create in the minds of Satyagrahis a feeling of terror and awe. So altogether, what was his objectives? Why he started firing on the people, on the innocent people? The only reason was he wants to produce a moral effect, that he don't want any Satyagraha to be courageous. He just have a reflection of fearfulness. He wanted that each and every Satyagrahi should feel terror of Britishers. They should be afraid of Britishers. So this was the reason, children, why Dyer told his soldiers to start firing at Jallianwala Bagh and innocent people. As the news of Jallianwala Bagh spread, crowds took to the streets in many North Indian towns. How the people got this news that Dyer has ordered to kill many of Indians? People came out from their houses and they started protesting in the streets and all. There were streaks, clashes with the police and attacks on the government buildings. Yes, it had happened. People used to burn the government buildings and they used to clash with policemen. The government responded with brutal repression, seeking to humiliate and terrorize people. Satyagrahis were forced to rub their noses on the ground, crawl on the streets, and to salam or salute to all sahibs. People were flogged and villages around Gujranwala in Punjab, now in Pakistan, were bombed. Seeing violence spread, Mahatma Gandhi called off the movement. So this was the reason why a movement, a great movement that is called non-cooperation was started by Mahatma Gandhi. So exactly when people came forward, when they heard the Jallianwala Bagh incident, every Indian, those who were living in North India, they came forward, they came out from their houses, they started protesting, they started burning, putting fire to the government buildings, they started killing policemen, and in return, Britishers made them to crawl on the streets, Britishers made them to rub their noses on the ground, and they also made them to salute to all sahibs and policemen. This was the reason which shook each and every citizen of this country, and suddenly Mahatma Gandhi decided that he will be calling a non-cooperation movement altogether, which will very hazardous movement in context to Britishers, which will shake, which will make Britishers to feel fear, and altogether it will be a symbol of independence. We are not going to support any Britishers, we are not going to work in their industries, we are not going to work in their hospitals, Indians will not going to attend colleges, Indians will leave courtrooms as a lawyer. Everybody who was an Indian will leave the job of Britishers and he will stand in favor of his country. So that is how Mahatma Gandhi took a name that is non-cooperation. Cooperation is a type of help which you give to government. But if you add non to it, it will become non-cooperation. It will not help to anyone. So non-cooperation is like असहयोग, जिसमें हम सहयोग नहीं करेंगे. So this was the title the movement was, and we will discuss this movement in detail. Now to bring Indians under one flag, under one branch, that is non-cooperation, Gandhiji was knowing that he must merge Hindu and Muslim all together, because there were some clashes at that time between Hindu and Muslims. Why? Because already in 1905 Indian Muslim League was formed. So Muslims were supporting to another party which was Indian Muslim League, and the majority of Hindus were supporting to Indian National Congress. I am not saying that only Muslims were there in Muslim League and only Hindus were there in Indian National Congress. Some Muslims were also there in Indian National Congress and some Hindus were also there in Indian Muslim League. So this is very clear, you have to be clear, but majority of Muslims were there in Indian Muslim League and majority of Hindus were there in Indian National Congress. So when Mahatma Gandhi came to India, he observed this and he felt that this two religion and the separation of these two categories, that is Hindus and Muslims, if they come under one branch, if they united, if they merge with each other, then we can do anything. We can throw Britishers out of this country. For that, he took an advantage, and that was of Khilafat movement. Because Indian Muslims were connected with the Khalifa of Turkey, and at that time Islam was under a danger zone in Turkey. So Indian Muslims wanted to save the Khalifa who was there in Turkey itself. So Mahatma Gandhi took this an advantage, and he felt that he could help Indian Muslims to draw their attention and so that they come under one flag, and that is non-cooperation. And Gandhiji did it very successfully. What he did, like you will be having the question from who were the Sayyid brothers, though he was one is Muhammad Ali and second was Shaukat Ali. Keep this name in your mind. They were the representatives in India of Khalifas, and they began discussing with Mahatma Gandhi about the possibility of united mass action on the issue. Gandhiji saw this an opportunity to bring Muslims under the umbrella of a unified national movement. This was the reason, children, why Gandhiji supported Khilafat movement. if it is asked in your examination that tell us why Gandhiji supported Khilafat movement, you should write this: because Gandhiji saw this movement as an opportunity and to bring Muslim under one umbrella, under the umbrella of a unified national movement, he supported Khilafat movement. So at the end of the Calcutta session, which was held in 1920, he convinced other leaders of the need to start a non-cooperation movement in support of Khilafat as well as for Swaraj. Swaraj means independence. Khilafat was associated with the Khalifa of Turkey. So when Gandhiji started non-cooperation, when Congress was having its session, yearly session in 1920 at Calcutta. Keep this in your mind. Congress was having session, yearly session in 1920 at Calcutta. Gandhiji decided that he will convince all the leaders to start non-cooperation movement in support of Khilafat as well as Swaraj. So this was the outcome of Rowlatt Act. As far as you see Jallianwala Bagh, you understood, and now you understood how Khilafat was reformed into non-cooperation and how Swaraj was reformed into non-cooperation. Next video I am going to start non-cooperation movement itself. From here it will be going to more interesting. It will be more interesting for you to understand. And as far as examination is concerned, नॉन कॉपरेशन से बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन पूछे गए हैं और पूछे जाते हैं. सो बी रेडी, डोंट मिस इट, वॉच दिस वीडियो as many time as you can, so that you should be clear about Khilafat movement, you should be clear about the Rowlatt Act, and you should be clear about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So take care children and watch this video, read it, understand it, make a note by yourself and show it to me. Bye bye.